coffee. And yes, I'm back. Still working on your homework project things. I don't remember exactly. I apologize. Yeah, I figured. I'm going to be honest, I'm a college dropout. I was also a high school dropout. So, you know, I mean, I dropped out of both. I was bored. I dropped out of high school with a high GPA. And I dropped out of college, again, with a high GPA. I just never really felt challenged or that they were even teaching me anything that I really wanted to learn. Even though I was taking classes that I wanted to learn from. To be perfectly honest, it always frustrated me. I mean, in high school, how do I even put it? I barely even tried. And I pulled, I don't know how your guys' GPA system works over in Ireland, but basically I was top of my class. I was easily within the top 10, if not top 5. I assimilate information pretty quickly, whether read or through lecture. I just remember it. It's just one of those things that I'm just natural aptitude towards. I mean, and yours is free, right? Like your guys' university, it's just free. You don't have to worry about it. I mean, I could be wrong. Welcome in, Andy. Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me now, because I don't know if the mic was going through or not. I forgot to untick the box. Okay. And we're just talking tonight. I didn't feel like being on camera, so you have to deal with my little avatar. Sorry. Firecracker cheese. Is that spicy cheese, Andy? Boom cheese. Boom cheese. So, tonight I kind of wanted to talk about something a little odd, but it's advertising. I hate advertising. I hate the way they do it now. See, when I was growing up, advertising was at least related to the product in some manner or another. I mean, you had, well, he was a little bit before my time, but I remember the commercials for like Spuds McKenzie, which he was advertising some beer. But I really remember the Budweiser Frogs. Head On ad? Oh, you'd have to give me more than that. Head On. I off the top of my head, I don't really remember it. I probably do, because I mean, I watched a decent amount of TV as a kid, you know, because Even though we had a dining room and a dining table, we ate around the coffee table. It was in the living room. You know, we were watching TV while we ate, and it's still one of the things that I generally don't do. But advertising used to get you to remember the product, you know, something to that effect. Oh God, yes, I remember that scam. It was what I was thinking. Oh, just put this on your forehead and it'll make your headache go away. Yeah, it was a scam. Well, I don't know if scam is appropriate there. Me personally, I just don't think it worked the way it was supposed to. But what do I know? But at least, I mean, even that advertisement, it showed you the product. Oh, I agree with you. It was just so annoying. But it showed you the product. It showed you how to use the product and let you decide for yourself, basically, if you wanted the product. Advertising now is barely even related to the product. Like, I can't even think of an ad because I don't really, but you have these stupid Quiznos ad with the little dudes. I'm just talking about, you know, I mean, in the ads, they literally showed you, they made their product enticing. Yes, it's the main purpose of advertising is to convince you to buy something that you otherwise would not have. One of the major secrets is that advertising, you only advertise when you have a new product or when your product's doing poorly. So advertising automatically became, hey, Ghost, how's it going? Advertising almost became useless on me. Well, even the ShamWow guy, at least they were showing you the product in use. Again, Flex Seal, showing you the product in use, showing you how to use it. Oh, I absolutely agree with that, Coffee. Advertising to neurodivergent people is harder than neurotypicals? Absolutely agree. It's one of the reasons why I don't even understand ads anymore. Like, why are you showing me all of this other crap that has nothing to do with the product? You know, advertising, like, showcase your product, show it in motion, show it working. And if you can't do that, they had a weird little dude in the commercial who probably also had ADHD, and I'm interested. Yeah. But also advertising is one of the few things in our life, in modern world, where we actually pay to get rid of. Like, that's something that I think a lot of people really aren't cognitively thinking about. Is we pay to get less of it. Girl a few months ago was just trying to sell me on the idea of Dubai chocolate. Showed me like 20 minutes of ads to convince me, and I was like, cool, I have no use for this. Yeah, like Dubai chocolate is already, like, it was really hot and then it just kind of faded because it wasn't really, well, advertising in general, Ghost, is what I'm trying to talk about, is just like, what is the point of advertising? Well, it's not even that Dubai chocolate's even that expensive. It is. But why am I going to eat a chocolate that it looks like you put moss in the center of it? I mean, I don't really know. I mean, to me, it's like you put Dubai on it, I'm automatically checked out. Dubai is just the modern day Las Vegas. Who want to eat dirt? Yeah, I know. But advertising, we pay to get rid of. Like, these people are so unwanted. We're willing to pay them money to go away. Yes, exactly. Well, At least if you're going to have an ad, make it entertaining. Not, well, one, I hate how medical ads, for medicines here, medicine there, that you can't even go out and buy. Like, you can't even buy this over the counter. You have to talk to your doctor. Why the hell are you talking to me then? You can't even sell me on this product. So why are you paying $1 million advertising campaign, probably more, to market to a group that can't even buy your product? Something is wrong with that. I mean, it's just like people saying, oh, Twitch has never made a profit. With how many ads Twitch puts on there, you're telling me they don't make a profit? Because they have to pay for those ads, that ad spot. Oh yeah, Dubai is terrible. It has a lot of slavery. Just forced work, not true slavery, because all they do is, they're not slaved. We just hold on to their passport while they fulfill their contract, which we keep extending. It's basically indentured servitude without the indentured part. Or the get out of jail free clause. Advertising it blows my mind. Yeah. Advertising used to be effective. Like, you're selling a car. You show the car doing the thing that's supposed to be doing. Now, I mean, the most recent advertising I saw for car had John Krasinski, and it's like some kind of movie trailer, and he's driving, and they're making it all dramatic and all of this, but it's not really showing the car. It's showing how you should feel in the car. In quotes, this is how you're supposed to feel while driving the car. So you're already trying to convince me to get into this car by giving me a feeling, not by actually saying, hey, the car actually works and it does what it's supposed to. But I mean, I don't understand how we got here. How we got to this point of advertising invading literally everything. And yet advertisers aren't paying enough to make Twitch profitable. You charge the advertisers more. Flat out. I mean, and most people who subscribe on Twitch are doing so to get rid of the ads. So Twitch makes the most money off of people trying to get rid of something. Sorry, the largest chunk, percentage-wise, not actually probably getting paid the most. On people to get rid of some part of your platform. This isn't a good business model. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Like, that's a terrible business model if people have to pay you to get rid of something. It's the same thing with YouTube. I pay for premium because I get more out of it. Ad of a bunch of hot women in bikinis posing in monochrome. Was it an ad for a bikini brand? Maybe their makeup, beauty products? It was for a soda. And you don't even remember the soda. See, that's what I'm talking about. That is a terrible ad. They did everything but make you remember. See, if I was the soda brand, on those bikinis is going to be the brand name. Or spelled out across parts of the bikini. Somehow to make that more evocative to remember. I mean, it's one of the things I don't understand. One, they've given away too much for free, so now people complain about paying for it, just to get rid of ads. And they've made ads so toxic that, you're literally just losing either way. Both the brand, the brand, the people, and the platform are literally circling the drain because they can't get a good balance of ads to content for the people. Yes, advertising, you do something to make you remember. One of them, I was 10 or 11 years old, and one of the most effective ads on me was, because I still remember the ad to this day, was an ad for beer, and I couldn't even buy beer. But it just had a former comedian, Dennis Miller, walk in, and then his name is in lights behind him, and all he says is a beer so good they named it after me. That's the ad. Because it was from Miller Beer. Effective. Yeah, jingles. What happened to jingles? What happened to the earworm jingles? Why don't we have anything like that where, it gets something stuck in your head? At least make the ads entertaining. Like, people used to watch the Super Bowl for the ads. Oh, yeah, Skittles ads. Yeah. Captain America's Cookhouse and Bar. Great food, kick-ass cocktails, and rockin' music. It gets stuck. Taste the rainbow. Everybody knows when you say taste the rainbow, that's a Skittles ad. You know this. Why did advertise? Yeah, I'm loving it. McDonald's. Or, good, Campbell's soup. Chia. Those commercials were before my time, yet I still know the Chia commercial. Finger licking good. Hey, I'll tell you one thing. If KFC kept on the finger licking good rather than baptizing some guy in a gravy lake that comes out as chicken, I would probably still be eating KFC. But that advertising about believe in chicken sends me right out at the door. I'm not going to go there. Simple as that. Why would I go to KFC when I'm going to end up being a chicken? Or they're going to baptize me in hot gravy. I'm sorry, no. Like, these do not associate to me a good product. You're not telling me that it's a good product. It's so hard to describe. Right, have it your way, Whopper, Burger King. Because you're worth it. These taglines work. Like, absolutely work. What are they doing with advertising now? Nike's just do it. Nike, I've gone and done it. Yeah. Why? What happened? Why are we in this place with advertising? Like, because I don't know. I've cut the cord on most of these advertisings. Mostly where I get ads now is on Amazon, of all things, because I just haven't paid for the upgraded. 877 cash now. Tesco, every little helps. Well, I don't have Tesco's near me, so that was one I don't know. But, see what I mean, though? You start talking advertising, and people start pulling out all these old advertising. But are they bringing out, anything from 2020 on up? No, we just don't remember them. And I gotta believe that that's intentional. And that bothers me, because that means that they're trying to use advertising to bypass our cognitive functions and just work on a subliminal level. Most people don't realize that subliminal advertising is not illegal. Never has been. It should be, but it isn't. And that's the scariest thing to me, that it's not illegal. But you see, gambling website, yeah, bad AI voice over ugly graphics. Yes, that was a point that I was going to get to, Coffee. What is the point of telling me that all of this data is going to be used to target ads to me, and you're targeting ads to me that I don't care? Like, you are completely wrong on what I want. Like, advertisers, you're paying for stuff. No, you're fine. You're paying for stuff that you're not getting. You want to target ads to me? Do better. Like, seriously, do better. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Coffee, these are all impromptu. I'm not even going off a script. I am literally top of the head. That's what I'm doing right now. So don't worry about breaking up the flow. This is all just off the cuff. Out of pocket, maybe? I don't know. It's so baffling to me to think that wait, Mark Wahlberg and Chris Pratt Bible reading app? One, I know way too much about Mark Wahlberg. That boy wasn't introduced to the Bible until he was like at least 30. And don't get me wrong, he's turned a big corner, but I mean, he used to be a rap artist. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. The only reason why I know that is because guess what? My name's Mark. Guess what I got called a whole lot as a kid? And they didn't use Funky Bunch. It was a different F letter or F word. It was effed up bunch. And Region are liking this app. Okay, but what about me? I'm an atheist lesbian. Exactly. What's the point of targeted advertising if you're not going to target it? Advertisers, you really need to get with the program. They're making you pay for stuff that is not effective. That's not working. Like, you're not even rage baiting me for engagement with these advertisings. I remember at one point on YouTube, when you used to be able to click on an ad and just say, hey, that's not for me. Simple as that. Like, you could literally just say, hey, that ad isn't good for me. Try a different ad. Why don't we do that? Why did we stop doing that? Why are advertisers paying to put advertising in front of you that it doesn't even, I mean, you know how many Crohn's disease ads I get for the Crohn's medication? I don't have Crohn's. I have a family member that has Crohn's. Not in my house, but I mean, they live in Montana. I have no use for this. I don't have ulcerative colitis. I don't have any of the other things that this is supposed to work on. Nor can I just go to a friggin' store and buy it. So why are you advertising it to me? It just makes no sense. Like, I mean, especially with like all the GLP-1s, you know, the weight loss drugs. You know, I mean, the Ozempic cheeks. Like, do you know how bad these have been so far? How bad they're finding them? And now they're trying to advertise that there's a pill that you can eat. But last I checked, those pills were fucking a scam. Pardon my language. Like, they don't actually properly work. And yeah, they passed FDA because they're not harmful, but not because they don't necessarily work. Well, okay, it used to work. Do they still have that? I haven't seen that in forever. Of course, I've been paying for premium for a long time, so I don't get ads on YouTube. I mean, I'm going to be honest, you know, that's the only thing that makes YouTube watchable is premium. And I mean, even to the point where now they have the jump ahead through the sponsor segments of YouTubers, which I will be honest, I watch YouTuber sponsors sometimes. But when you start advertising to me BetterHelp, Fume, or some other scam, it's not just that I will skip the ad. I will straight up stop watching you. So YouTubers better be very careful about what ads, what sponsors they take, because I will straight up unsubscribe. I'm dead set against, people telling me the fume's healthy for me. It's essential oils that you're directly inhaling into your lungs. And the essential oil market is unregulated. I don't give a crap what they tell me. Oh, it's all natural. Yeah. But you don't see me inhaling dirt intentionally. You don't see me inhaling, olive oil. Olive oil's an oil. It's all natural. I ain't supposed to inhale it. So to me, YouTubers, streamers, anybody should be very careful about who they advertise for. Because I will straight up rather watch somebody do a gambling ad than somebody advertise me BetterHelp, because I think BetterHelp is more destructive in the long run. Or Factor, or, all these other things. It's like, oh, it's good food because you're on the go all the time. It's highly processed food that's literally got chemicals in it so that it comes out of the microwave tasty. Like, people don't realize there's a whole chemical makeup that you do for making things in the microwave, for cooking things in a microwave to come out like normal. You have to add exotic, weird chemicals. So yeah, I'm not going to touch some of these things. Oh, and yeah, I know that means I'm probably never really going to get a sponsor or something like that. But I will tell you, there are things I will use, that I would love to run ads for. Gamer Supps being one of them, because it works. I feel good when I drink it. They have the uncaffeinated versions. Right. Okay. That makes sense. Coffee. Watch the advertisement once, first time. Video's under a year old. If I like the ad, you watch it more. If not, if it's a scam, I check the date and see if this was before or after. Yeah. I'm just saying that, BetterHelp, even though they went quiet for a while and they're coming back, they haven't changed anything. They still, they've even been caught using AI therapists that you're chatting with without disclosing it. They've been caught using therapists that aren't even licensed. They've been caught using therapists or saying that you're using a therapist with a license that never signed up for them. So you're not even talking to that person. So yeah, BetterHelp, screw that. If I can't verify that I'm talking to the real person and trust it, you're a scam. You're hurting people. Simple as that. I'm done. And if these creators, I just need the cash. If your cash is more important than your community, something's wrong. You're doing this wrong. Simple as that. And I get that people want their bag. But see, if all you ever think about is your bag, that's how we got to where we are now with this whole capitalism end stage BS, where the market is completely disjointed from what people actually need or want. Like, we're literally advertising things to people that they do not want nor need, but using mechanisms to make them feel addicted to the product. It's why I don't use TikTok or short form media at all. Because interspersed in there is advertisements that you may not even realize are advertisements. You may not even understand that you just got advertised to as you're going through. This whole idea of how these things work it blows me away. It blows me away that these people all over the platform, the creator, the advertiser, and even the people watching it, they don't understand what's really going on. Advertising is literally meant to make you feel Like, you have to have the thing. It's meant to make you go out and buy something that you don't really even need, don't really have a use for. And a lot of people don't get that. A lot of people don't understand that this is actually harming you. It's hurting you to do this. And you need to learn how to fix that, how to disengage with the advertising, let it roll off. And most people think they do. Hell, I probably think I do. But you'll catch yourself watching it. No matter what you think about it, you'll still catch yourself watching it. And I mean, I've heard stories, studies that advertisements use subharmonic frequencies so it doesn't trigger your phone to use certain programs that will respond when spoken to. I don't know if any of y'all have it. I'm trying not to trigger yours. And I mean, I literally turn mine off, but that doesn't mean that it's not listening. It just won't respond to me verbally. You can't really turn off this stuff without just literally going off the grid and not even having a cell phone. But even then, I mean, you're still going to be caught one way or the other. There's nothing really you can do. So the only way to do anything is to actually, fix the mechanism, because I personally believe that the only reason why advertising agencies are even still around or even still working is because of the circle and the cycle. Because Google pays an advertising agency to get an ad campaign for them. That advertising agency pays Google to put stuff on YouTube and the AdSense stuff, wherever they may be, so that Google can pay to have that stuff advertised. And it's this cycle. It kind of looks like a bubble. And I honestly think that the advertising bubble is being artificially held and propped up by things like Facebook, Google, because they're all lying. We know that Twitch and Google know who the bots are. Oh, it's so hard to tell. It's like, no, it's not. It's not hard. If I, as a person, can look at just the way the person wrote the comment, it's like, that's a bot. Oh, look at their name. Yeah, that's a bot. Like, come on. We know that there's bots. But if Twitch and YouTube and Google admit that the botting problem is probably somewhere close to 50% of their platform, they don't get the advertising dollars. That's why they're not incentivized to actually do anything about it. That's why they don't do anything about it, because they're afraid if they say something, if they do something. I mean, think about it. When Twitch said that they were going to crack down on bots, and some of their big Twitch streamers had like a 3/4 drop, or not a 3/4, but 1/4 drop. 25% of their audience just wiped out. And then it trickled back up. Like, nobody noticed that, wait, the audience came back that was bots? Huh. There's real easy ways to fix botting problems. It's real easy. But people are afraid, because the easiest way to do it is that you take your cell phone, which pretty much everybody has one. And this is scary, I get it. But you have a program within your cell phone that verifies your face, your biometrics. Who doesn't use like a thumbprint scanner or a face scanner to open their phone? Maybe some people don't. I know a lot of people that do. But even if you use your pattern or your PIN or whatever, you give it some kind of information, some kind of personal information to open your phone. So you already trusted your phone more than you trust your neighbor. So you have all of that data on your phone. Your phone just has to have a program on there that verifies that data and then forgets the data itself, but just remember that they verified the data. They go, yep, this person's over 18. Check mark approved. We forgot the rest. And all they have to broadcast is, yes, the person's over 18. Age verification complete. You don't have to keep their data. You don't have to do all of this stuff. And you literally don't have to keep the whole mechanism other than just to have verified. But it's to save the kids. It's like they'll get fake IDs and stuff. Yeah, they will. Trust me, kids will. Doesn't matter what you think, it's going to happen. Hey, what's up, Jade? And that's the breaks. But if we just verify through a phone app, two-factor authentication, you go to log into YouTube, you have to, your phone bleeps at you. Your phone just needs to be able to record that, yes, I have verified their data. I know how old they are, but it doesn't actually have to have all of that data still there. All it has to have is, Jitter's blue check mark. And how are you doing, Jade? To verify age. Not only that, that would make advertising so much easier. I am doing good. We're talking about advertising and how piss poor it is. And how we're supposed to live in the day and age of targeted advertising, and it's not. I don't know about you guys. Well, I do kind of, because, people have been telling. Advertising doesn't actually mean anything to me. Because what they advertise to me isn't very targeted. If it was, hell, I might buy a few more different things. But as it sets, advertising doesn't do much. I mean, you'd think that if it was targeted advertising, I would have known about the Artemis 2 launch weeks ago, because I would have looked for that. Yet I had to find out on the day the rocket launched. And I really haven't heard about anybody else talking about it, having any videos lead up to the launch. Which, sure, people are saying, oh, well, that's because it was faked. We're going through the whole moon landing was faked arc all over again. I really wish people would just get it through their head how complex of a problem it would have been to fake the moon landing. It was actually less complicated to just go to the moon, because you would have to either get Russia in on it, or you'd have to fool Russia with their satellites, which, remember, their satellites were out there before ours. So their tracking software and everything and how to track things was a lot more advanced than what we had. Yeah, very effective advertising, wasn't it, Coffee? It took a while, but I just remembered the last ad I saw that genuinely got me to try something. I saw Coke's AI-generated ad and stopped buying Coke. Yeah, what I saw just of snippets of that ad, I'm just like, who approved this? Like, and I'm not complaining so much about that it was AI, but more so just like the person looking at this saying, oh yeah, this is an effective ad. How? It looked bad. Like, you could tell that the wheels weren't moving in sync with the road or with the speed of the vehicle. It's like, it didn't look right. How did you as a person look at that ad and go, yeah, that checks out? I hope that person was fired. But I mean, advertising, like, okay, now, speaking of AI, now they're trying to bad lip syncing. They're trying to I would like to understand how somebody thinks the moon landing is fake. Just understand. I mean, all you have to do is just look at geopolitics at the time. I mean, Russia literally capitulated the space race and said, yep, America wins. Do you really think at that time Russia would have been like, yep, we're going to go with it? Like, and keep in mind, we still had another, 20 years of Cold War tension? Like, I don't think people really understand how much the tension was ratcheted up between America and Russia at that time. Like, it'd be impossible. Hi. I don't know if you guys can hear her, but she's screaming at me. The cat. Probably, if you can't hear her, I should probably specify that the cat's screaming at me. But back to advertising, I mean, we literally live in an age where we're talking about ways of injecting ads into your dreams. We already have patents for injecting ads into old TV shows, old movies, where AI basically pauses the movie and inserts itself as the main character, whoever's in that, and they're showing you, because probably Coca-Cola is going to be the first one to really pay for this. Coca-Cola, it's like, I mean, I can just see, Terminator 1. In the middle of it, Arnie's like, I'll be back after I get the Coke. Boom. And they're adding that in for whatever freaking reason. Like, if companies didn't already pay enough for ad placement in movies, I mean, if anything, go look at Wayne's World movie with Mike Myers and how much they pointed out, advertising. And this was in the 90s, early 90s, if I remember correctly, like 92, 93, where they show, like, there's this whole scene where he's just getting all the product placement lined up and done. And I've looked at podcasts and I immediately, like, oh, I'll try somebody new. And I look and it's like, you see in their staging of their podcast, comfy couch, in the back is like a can of something that just happens to be label out facing. I mean, this has gotten so ubiquitous that in the Artemis 2 footage, there was a Nutella jar that floated by, when the astronauts are doing something and just this loose can of Nutella floating by, and people are like, oh, they didn't go to the moon, it's all AI because they added an ad. I'm like, are you kidding me? They probably paid the astronauts to stage that. Like, legitimately, that wouldn't be that hard, because I mean, all you really have to do is convince them to take a jar of Nutella. Only 2 of the astronauts were viewable at the time, which meant 2 others were somewhere else, probably just out of camera. It's 2052. Shawshank Redemption now has an AI-generated subplot where Andy and Red try to smuggle in Coca-Cola. The poster has been replaced with a different AI girlfriend chatbot on every watch. And the problem is they could they're probably going to do it. Hollywood has gotten so bankrupt, and I know a whole lot of people are excited for this movie, that movie, this movie, and it's just like, they don't even know how to make real movies anymore. Very few of them do. I mean, the very fact that a YouTuber made a movie that got, last I knew, was over 7 times its budget in revenue. Over 7 times. And even if half of that, goes back to the theaters, who cares? When was the last time a Hollywood movie, any Hollywood movie, made 7 times its budget? Freaking Markiplier made Iron Lung, which was a great movie, in my personal opinion, because it felt authentic. It felt like a good, real movie. It felt like a movie I watched growing up. Which, keep in mind, those were, oh yeah, Truman Show. Well, it already does. You ever hear your friends try to tell you about some product that you don't give a shit about? Pardon my language again. Damn. I'm probably going to curse more on this one because advertising pisses me off. Thank God most of my friends don't actually do that. But I have heard legit conversations. Curse jar, yeah. Where people are advertising something to each other. Like, we can't even like different things. Like, okay, say, coffee, you don't like Coke. You stopped using it because, the AI ad. But I like Coke. And I have to try and convince you to give Coke another try. It's okay, Like, we have to like the same stuff. Why? One, if I drink Coke, you drink whatever you drink. That means there's more Coke in my fridge for me when you show up. Why should I care what you drink? Ever see The Truman Show? How everybody talks with that fake ad voice when bringing up products because the show never stopped? I remember when his wife was trying to cover so badly because he was asking some very poignant questions. She just kept advertising to him. And it's just, the biggest plot hole of Truman Show, the biggest plot hole, was that Truman walked out. Somebody that was raised and indoctrinated his whole life into that kind of culture. They could have done a Truman 2, and I guarantee you he'd be trying to come back. Because he's the most popular person in the world, at least in his little sleepy town. He had the illusion of a normal life. A real person's not going to go out in the world after their whole life from birth to this point where they escaped has been on, I'm sorry. There is no normal life for that guy. And that's where IRL streamers are. They don't get normal life. Normal life just doesn't feel real to them anymore. The only time they feel real is on here. And how many children, legit children, are allowed to stream? That's why we got Jack Doherty. And I actually have sympathy for that poor guy. Know how bad it is? The Bayformers movies are a financial success, but terrible. The Night movies, they make back a profit, but are a bit better. TF1 flopped and was held as a brilliant movie. TF1? Oh, Transformers 1. Yeah, you're right. Even big popular brands do bad when they take a break from the no story, make more characters for more toys and more profit. Well, the problem is we used to have a good formula for that. Coffee, these guys are trying to mimic what happened in the 80s with G.I. Joe, Transformers, Barbie, Strawberry Shortcake, Rainbow Bright. I can't remember them all. But they were legit cartoons meant to advertise toys to kids. The cartoons didn't make profit, but the toys did. But see, you know where it all went wrong? They're now advertising to collectors. Look at what's going on with Pokemon. Legit, Pokemon Like these people that are buying out Pokemon stores, like, oh, yay, you know, but nobody's playing the game anymore because every card's valuable. Oh, and I saw this in the early 90s with comic books where people were just flipping out because you're actually reading the comics. Hell yeah, I am. That's the point. I enjoyed the art. I enjoyed the game. I enjoyed this. My Little Pony, that was another good one. My sister probably, you know, blacked that one out because of my sister. Between My Little Pony and Strawberry Shortcake. Oh my God. But I'm sure she had the G.I. Joe blind spot too. So I understand. You know, they stopped advertising like legit products through the story. Right. You know, magic cards, but you sleeve them, you know. But I know people since the beginning of Magic, Jade, that have bought a booster box, which is a big, you know, box of the card packs you buy, but it's like 120 of them or however many it is. And they leave them plastic sealed. Literal unopened from alpha all the way to now. Yabin used to buy them. Right. I mean, it's just, yeah. Well, because the kids would play with the toys. You want to know what makes those toys collectible? Oh, I used to. Okay, that makes so much more sense. You know what makes that shit collectible? Nostalgia. Because kids played with them, they destroyed their toys, so now people are going out to try and find them. You can't just market to somebody nostalgia bait who has no nostalgia for the thing you're trying to give. That's what's wrong with the MCU. They're trying to nostalgia bait a whole bunch of people with all of these stories. I mean, some people have grown up with the MCU not realizing that the whole damn thing is a terrible story. Sure, the first 4 or 5 movies were okay, but after that, it just got to be selling you the next movie. That was the whole point. That's why the whole thing fell off a cliff after Endgame. Because they stopped having new stuff to sell. Now it was just about the ashes of what was left behind. They never really tied up any of the storylines other than, you know, Thanos' storyline. You know, and we still haven't figured out how real comic book movies should go. You should not be killing the villains. Like, it's what happened to the Batman films. That's why they got so ridiculous, because you had to keep going bigger, bigger, bigger. You know, after the first Michael Keaton Batman film, we knew Joker was never coming back. He died in the end of the first one. You literally took Batman's iconic best villain and you got rid of him. That's like if in the new Superman movie, they took out Lex Luthor in the first movie. You just wasted your best counterpoint character. It's probably why Supergirl's gonna blow. Because she doesn't have an iconic villain that anybody knows. Hell, most people don't even know who she is. Well, that's because most comic fans don't know which Supergirl they're using, because she has like something like 5 different variants. That's not even counting Power Girl. You know, I mean, and I wanted to like the Gunverse. Well, yeah. Okay, yeah, see, something's wrong with that person then. If they do Transformer collecting videos and you can actually see that he's genuinely distressed with his addiction, well, then I'm not gonna support his addiction. Like, I'm sorry, Coffee, but see, that's the problem is that part of that addiction is that he makes his living off of, or maybe not, but he makes it probably some money off of these videos. So he has to keep doing it. That's the problem with a lot of this stuff, is that, advertising has pervaded everything, that even this guy Diamond Bolt knows he has a problem, but if he stops, he loses the income from YouTube. So his community, while probably being very empathetic to his plight, are enabling his addiction. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. But again, that's kind of what I was talking about, or maybe I just made it about what I was talking about. I have a tendency to do that. When we're talking about the IRL streamers whose whole life is advertising. See, and that's where I was going with that, is that Jack Doherty's whole life was advertising Jack Doherty. Like, what was he, 10, 11 when he got on? Made it big on YouTube or whatnot for flipping things fine? Where were his parents? His parents had to be so super predatory to allow this to happen. Now you have another poor kid, Rakai, who's so mentally pickled on IRL streaming that he doesn't even understand what's so wrong about what he's doing. Like, at this point, where's your parents? Why aren't your parents stopping this? I don't think anybody should be allowed to stream who's younger than 18 years old. Like, if you can't enter in a legal contract with the platform itself, kick them out. And I know that that's going to piss off a lot of people, because there's probably younger people they watch. But what was it, Ryan? The kid that used to open things in Ryan's World, I think is what it was called. Come to find out, his family was super abusing him. And he finally started getting that because his parents didn't save the money. We're watching how, just like in Hollywood, the exploitation of the young literally destroys the rest of their life. Look at Miley Cyrus, look at Justin Bieber, because they're brands, they're not people. And that's part of advertising, is you're advertising their brand. And this is leaked into Hollywood because now actors can't act. They have to be their brand. You have to be The Rock on screen. I can't act like this character. I have to be RDJ, not Tony Stark. We're not allowing people to do their job. And when they do their job is supposed to be advertising their job. Like, think about it. You go to McDonald's. They wear a uniform. They have to have the pasted smile. Everything has to be perfect because you're walking into a McDonald's advertisement. You're not walking into a McDonald's, you're walking into a McDonald's advertisement. So now they're even using hostile architecture to make the place uncomfortable so that when you come into a McDonald's, you don't have factors they can't control. People being loud and obnoxious because they're just a group of friends, they're teenagers having fun talking, hanging out at McDonald's. I know that might sound strange, but it did used to happen. So they're making it more hostile, so you just eat and get out. Because they can't control you. Even though you're not doing anything wrong, you're not doing anything illegal, so they can't just kick you out. So they're going to make it uncomfortable, so you get out. Even to the point where, restaurants have started enforcing no loitering laws. I don't know about you all, but the few times my family, when I was growing up, went out to eat, we'd go to a family diner or something like that. We were there minimum an hour. Minimum. And that's probably being extremely generous, because I'm pretty sure we probably were a couple hours. And that was just if it was my family of 5. My parents and my 2 siblings and me. Now, if it was aunts, uncles, and we had, a bigger party, 4 or 5 hours could pass. Because I got the chat gene from my parents. I came by it rightly. I can talk about a lot. So it's why I'm doing this, because I can. And, you have to keep asking yourself, what really is the point of advertising when you're looking at talk a lot about anything infinite, and welcome in, or welcome to your first chat, at least if you've been lurking for a while. What really is the point of advertising? Well, now Jade has put a limit on you, Infinite. Now you're just 9 infinite. Just got here. We've been talking about advertising. And like, what is the point? Right, 9 infinites. The only problem is that puts a limit on the infinite. Because by multiplying by infinite, you have now made it finite. Because you can't multiply infinites. But you guys want to catch infinite up while I'll be back? I'll run the ad and yes, I know. That's why I was actually really kind of hoping. So we'll talk about it, Infinite, because I know you have a perspective on it and I'd like to hear it. So I'll be back. I promise. And I'm back. Can you imagine? We'd done if there were 9. Yeah. So here's a got the gene from your uncle. Okay, so here's a scenario for you, Infinite. Yes, you are, Jaden. And while I won't say specifically what, congratulations again, and I hope it all goes swimmingly. So you work for an advertising agency. You pay a company for targeted advertising, but you're going to be a little sneaky. You set up 10 profiles that are perfect to be targeted by your ad. How likely do you actually think it is that those 10 control people will actually see your ad? You know, regardless of the effectiveness of your ad, how likely is it that you have people that you have a perfect profile to be hit with that ad, but you know, they go on YouTube and they're supposed to get hit? How likely is it? Because let me give you, well, come up with your answer. What you think, because I'm really curious. Copy, my whole family has the chat gene. Mom and dad would say, you know, oh, we're just going to say our goodbyes, go wait in the car. 2 hours later, we're still sitting in the car. I mean, legit, I actually would have to use the bathroom and have to come back in to use the bathroom. And that's when they'd remember that we were going home and that, you know, the kids have school in the next morning and they have to get up butt ass early in the morning to go to work. But I also want to pose a question to everyone. When was the last time you got a targeted ad? Target audience, hopefully, and depending where we show it, at least half, but that depends on the ad type and what we're selling. Okay, just assume, right, this is all marketing, consumer behavior, and personal selling. Assume that, now, okay, given what you just said, how often on YouTube have you ever got an actual targeted ad? An ad that actually spoke to you? Like, that you're like, oh yeah, that actually is a good ad for me. Because I can honestly say, I can't remember. Rainbow advertisement, cool, my community is being abused and struggling for basic rights in most of the world, but the corporation put a rainbow on its, yeah, exactly. Because, oh, we're in support of you. You know, that's the problem is that by every right, the advertising company should expect minimum of half of those. Right? But see, I don't get targeted ads. Or if I do, they really don't know me because like I was mentioning earlier, you know, I keep getting ads for friggin' like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis, which I don't use. I don't have any use for. So you got the trailer for a movie 4 months ago when you were watching the trailer for the movie that played as an ad on the video that was already a trailer. Like, okay, so here's the thing. I go out and say I buy a pair of shoes. Why do they keep advertising me the same pair of shoes that I just bought? Like, why aren't you trying to sell me insoles, shoelaces, shoe care kits, if those things even still exist? You know, things associated, or socks. Or, oh, say they were hiking shoes. Okay, well, now you advertise hiking pack, water, blah, 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 water bottle, reusable type. Right. Okay. For docs. Yeah, makes sense. I'm just saying that when was the last time you really got an actual targeted ad that made sense? Okay, you said diapers, boom, you got ad. But did that actually speak to you? Right, she likes this film. Do we give her trailers for similar movies? No. We use the trailer already watching. And remember that a lot of this is for, very broad and general. So my question is why are advertising agencies paying for targeted advertising when they're not actually targeting the advertising? If most of the people I encounter have never had an actual targeted ad, why are advertising agencies paying for targeted ads when they're not? Anime has entered the chat on YouTube, and an infinite is still in the chat on Twitch. Bifurcation, anybody? And that means you can be in two places at once. This stuff is just wild. It's insane to me. Like, I'm a gamer. Yet I cannot tell you the last time I got a video game advertised to me. Yes, exactly. Everything sense is then either something you don't want, don't need, or already have. How does that work? Right, they pay you to sway, but I can honestly tell you that none of the ads are swaying me in any way. Sure, I'm neurodivergent. So advertising is hard with me. Yeah, I learn about new games through YouTubers, not through any kind of advertising feed. Steam has mentioned that they're probably going to try and do something like that. Okay, that's nice. She gave a little breakdown, but why isn't it working? Like, these people pay a lot of money for this. I'm supposed to be part of some stupid Reddit forum or something about video games because, there was a video game it was such a weird video game, but I loved it. Right, Russian Badger playing Lethal Company. Well, and that's even an indie game that can't really afford, mega advertising. And the mega advertising you get for, the AAA games are garbage. Like, half the time, I don't even realize it's a freaking game. Yeah, they broke the system. They absolutely broke the system. I found out about so many games through Markiplier, through Jack, through Gab Smolders. So many. And it blows me away that things that I love movies. Okay, that's kind of funny. Circle Tunes convinced you of Helldivers because he did a skit of playing the games. I have yet to even broach Helldivers because it's not my style of game. I'm not really into, if I remember right, it was an extraction shooter, or is that the dungeon delving? I can't remember. But I don't know. It's so baffling to me that advertising has gotten so bad that, like I mentioned a lot earlier, Infinite, is that we literally pay people to get rid of it. Ghost just chatting over here or just sending emotes and not really responding to anybody. People are saying hi to him and he's just being stuck up. Which probably means he's either playing Dead by Daylight or Marvel Rivals. I'm not paying attention. But It literally makes no sense to me to sit here and watch ads for things that aren't targeted to me. Or the amount of times I will get the same ad. Okay. See, that's valid, Ghost. I'm just giving you a hard time, dude. But Jade and Infinite said hi, Ghost. But it blows me away that companies are paying for targeted advertising through advertisers. The advertisers pay Google. Google pays advertisers for more targeted advertising. Like, it's literally this circle of money, and people don't realize that it's just a big bubble. And Google literally allows people to pay to get rid of the ads. Like, it's so baffling to me. And we don't want ads. Like, because most of the ads have no point being targeted to us. Because they're not actually targeting us. They're just putting whoever paid the most money to put your eyeballs in front of it, which is medical, which for me at least is a bunch of medical stupid BS, which maybe it's because of my age bracket. I don't know. But I don't have any medical issues. My doctors are pissed off about it too. AARP adverts, again, I'm not even old enough to get AARP. And just in case you guys are having the same glitch, Ghost says hi back. It's so baffling to watch this from the sidelines. To watch these advertising agencies spend so much money to get not what they paid for, and have people pay money to get rid of the adverts that they already got paid for in the first place. So Google is literally getting paid twice. Creators are getting paid once. And people are still getting more ads than they really want because, on YouTube Premium, I will say that there's not even stupid ads on the side. But you know what happens if, say, Google's platform reaches like 20 to 30%? Where would I go, Andy? Right? Spin, what is that? What does spin stand for? Infinite. I'm just giving you a hard time, Andy. Don't take me seriously, sorry. That probably came off as mildly annoyed. I'm not annoyed at all, Andy. Where was I? Oh yeah, spin. Yeah, I'm worked up on the topic because I absolutely hate advertising. Because I remember when advertising was effective. When the Budweiser frogs were popular, you'd walk through high school. Techniques used to find out what the customer needs. Okay. Well, I assumed SPIN was an acronym, so I was just curious. And so you'd have one kid, and these guys don't even have to know each other. But you'd have one go, Bud. Some guy walking down the way would go, Wise. Somebody further along, just like the friggin' Budweiser frogs. Specific order of questions. Okay. But the Kmart boxer for Christmas. Are we talking like boxer shorts, like very specific Kmart boxer shorts, or like an actual boxer? Now I'm just curious. Men's boxers. Yes, I do. I'm old, Andy. I remember when Trump was in Pizza Hut commercials. I also remember in 2015 when he announced, his presidency. Yeah, Joe Boxer, thank you. We all thought it was a stunt, like it was a joke. And we all thought he had no chance of winning. I still don't know how he did that time. And I remember, A&W, with Snoopy. I remember the Joe Camel commercial that, oh my God, smoking industry got torn apart over. It's so baffling to me because commercials used to be something you remember, something that had staying power. I mean, to the point, even some companies are still pulling out old advertisements, at certain times because they're effective. Why would I pay for new advertising when this advertising works? But then these guys have been convinced to, oh, you got to buy this one. It's like, because advertising companies are nothing but a money sink. Yeah, Hershey's Kisses at Christmas. You don't need a new advertisement for those. Grey Poupon. Yes, the old Grey Poupon commercials. Absolutely brilliant. Pardon me, but do you have any Grey Poupon? In just the most... Yeah. There's just so much that happens that we really should pay more attention to that just bypass us because we're so advertised to that it's no longer effective. So they think that advertising more is going to be more effective. They keep pushing that tolerance window. ¿Para qué? Exactly. See, that's what I'm saying is that I can remember these commercials. In this economy? True. But why do they keep paying for commercials that nobody wants? Why do these advertising companies come up with commercials that are absolutely anathema to people? Like they think that rage baiting people to buy their product is going to work? Is that what I'm to understand? Like if I see so many ulcerative colitis commercials, am I going to start browbeating my doctor to give me ulcerative colitis medicine? Give me a prescription because I just have to have it even though I don't have ulcerative colitis? Like advertising medication makes no sense to me. Absolutely no sense. Yeah, tell me they have too much money without telling me they have too much money. Bingo. Like, how do you spend this money and not try to make sure that it's being used for the purpose? Shit. Pardon my language again. Maybe if, medical companies stopped paying for advertisements that nobody's paying attention to anyway, nobody cares about anyway, maybe they could reduce the cost of medication without taking a hit to their bottom line. Because they're spending millions upon millions a year on advertising that is useless because it's targeting a demographic that literally cannot buy their product. I can't just go down to the pharmacy and say, oh, hey, I saw this ad on TV. I need this ulcerative colitis medicine. Like, why are you even doing that? Who convinced the medical companies, the pharmaceutical companies to spend this money? I want to know that salesman. Because obviously that dude knows what he's doing because he literally sold ice to a snowman. Yeah, money shark. loan shark, however you want to look at it. But right, no one tells you to go to a doctor, wait for a referral, and then wait to see for the results, blah, 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 which is exactly the path you'd have to do. Why are they targeting somebody that has no opportunity to even really, like, it doesn't even make sense to me. Or like the stupid booster medication for anti-anxiety meds or something like that. I mean, I get it. People have anxiety. I'm not trying to down that, but I mean, I'm not on a anxiety med. Why would I need a booster for it? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Again, you know, if we live in a world where targeted advertising is a thing, why am I getting these ads? Well, yeah, I mean, but at least it would make sense, Andy, to send an ad like that to you rather than to me, because I'm not on any meds. The only meds I'm on are my allergy medication, which is over the counter. I don't even go to the doctor for that one. So that advertising, like the whole pharmaceutical industry advertising, makes no sense. Like, I mean, especially with these scummy friggin' companies, like what is there? There's Roe, him, her, whatever, you know, these scummy companies that set you up with a doctor to get you the prescription you need. It's like, how is that legal? Because the doctor's incentivized to give you a prescription for whatever they're giving. Well, yeah. I mean, the side effects, I mean, well, one, I wish people understood. Right. That's what I'm saying, though, is like, I mean, sure, if somebody already has an issue, of course, contact one of those companies that say they can get it to you cheaper. You know, I mean, honestly, right, anything's legal if you have the money for it, right? It's not technically illegal, it's just the cost of doing business. I pay these fines. Yeah, Ozempic commercials. And now we're finding out that the GLP-1s, which Ozempic is one, you know, is probably not the best for you and might be causing some long-term effects that they never expected, because healthy people are taking it, not people that need it. Oh, I knew who you meant, and I thought it was funnier to call her Opia. It's she who shall not be named, because I hear she's litigious. But, I mean, speaking of her, think about how much damage she has done. From scummy weight loss to scummy doctors to scummy therapist. I don't know. I don't even know who Josh Drake or whatever, you know, but oh yeah, we also, yeah, Ellen too. You know, I mean, how many scumballs? Rachel, Rachel Ray. I haven't even heard that name. Drake and Josh. Okay. Sorry, but that's the least of my worries about Oprah, is whether or not she tips. Let's just say I've heard some very damaging things. And, oh, Rachel? Well, again, I don't know. I remember her vaguely because I think I used to get her dog food. Yeah, exactly. You know, there's a lot of issues, like where's the students from her school that are still missing? You know, the lady that had close ties to Weinstein and another Steen that I can't say anything about, that happened to have certain files recently released. Right? Uh, yeah, Andy, there's literally public pictures of Oprah with both of them. Not at the same time. But I mean, again, the problem with all of that is that she was in the movie business and that's who those people hung out with anyway. And when you're on the red carpet, it's really hard to distance yourself, Right. Well, I don't normally pay attention to that stuff anyway, but when these files started coming out, I did do research. Nice. Oh, I've never liked Oprah, and I have never liked, another one was, what's her face? Martha Stewart. Her eyes are dead. I mean, I honestly have no real, actual beef with her. Martha Stewart specifically. I just never liked her eyes. She just looks dead inside to me. Oh, Zuckerberg? Honestly, I'm still on the fence on whether Zuckerberg's a real human, a lizard man, or, it's like if you pay attention over the years, he's got enough training to actually act more like a human. Which I have literally seen lizards, and I don't believe in the whole, their reptoids are running the world. I don't believe in that. But Zuckerberg makes me question my disbelief in that. He's the only person I've ever met that made me question that. Especially, when your name literally, Zuckerberg. Yeah, V, the TV series. The old one, not the new one. When Zuckerberg's name literally translates to Sugar Mountain. I know it's kind of a stretch, but wouldn't that make sense? It just baffles me. Absolutely baffles me. Exactly. Which makes me wonder if all of that was kind of like a cross-pollination thing. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think that's part of the problem. Oh, that's cool. I remember seeing something about that they were releasing some newer stuff or re-upload or whatever they did. I haven't checked it out because that was always something my kids were more interested in than I was. And I think that's part of it, Coffee, is that, everything's starting to feel like the same plot lines over and over again because we haven't been allowed to be original in how long? We haven't been allowed to do anything new in how long? The newest thing I think in pop culture that was mega big was the MCU. And that was only because it was new to movies. But the comics have been around for 100 years, and they were rehashing plot lines from the 90s. Yeah, I hope so. Jeez. And again, here's the thing that absolutely bothers me. Going back to advertising, sort of. How the hell does GoFundMe exist? I know that's not what you're talking about, Andy, but what I mean is that if people can get GoFundMes running for their legal defense, which is the most common use I've seen for it, doesn't that mean that technically legal insurance should exist? Well, exactly. I mean, even if he, like, okay, so Coffee's mom showed a video of a man claiming to have made a clean plastic-based fuel, obviously take it with a grain of salt. And the minute she showed it, Coffee said he's going to go missing. Regardless of whether it was that clean or not, of course he's going to go missing. Just like, you know, the guy that invented the car that ran on water went missing. Yeah, that's what happens. Exactly. You know, anybody that has any kind of good product, like an actual world-changing product, they go missing, or they off themselves in unique ways, which, you know, is extremely common. You know, like how Ellen DeGeneres is surrounded by people that spontaneously have car accidents. I think there's been 3 people in her life. I might be overstating, and I know at least 2 guaranteed, but I thought there was a third. Right? Psych ward's also another place they end up. And you just have to wonder what's really going on. Like, do I believe there's alien bases underneath our feet? No, but do I believe that there are bases underneath our feet? Yes. Right. Because the world's being controlled. You know, and even worse is that those files, when they come out, it's even now just what they're willing to tell us. You know, again, it's an advertisement to say, oh, we're bad, but don't look too much deeper because this is bad enough to understand the whole E-files. Oh, the alien files, don't even get me started on what's going on with that crap. How many scientists have gone missing? Which makes me wonder, again, is this a, you know, guerrilla advertising for those files themselves? Because at least 2 of them left all of any device that could track them. And in a day and age of where, you know, outside tracking is so easy, they still weren't seen. Yes, exactly. Cues up the X-Files theme. Welcome in, Ninetales. You know, I mean, we have all of these ways of getting to information. We should have the information at our fingertips. And yet, for some reason, we're not allowed. You know, and I honestly think that, you know, to deal with the E-files, I think it's because they're masking something more sinister. And I think I've spoken on that before. I think they were doing genetic engineering on a grand scale, and that's why they were going after children, because they wanted specific genes before, you know, they get too old. Because yes, that's a thing. Genes get old. They don't copy as well. You know, so literally just this whole circus around releasing the files is legitimately an advertisement of, hey, look over here, you know, this is what we did. Hey, we're sorry, you know, we got them. We got them. You know, nobody's willing to admit anything. You know, and I think other countries need to sue America. Andy, honestly, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me not just have a way to reverse aging, but transfer consciousness. You know, I mean, like here's the thing. If you really want to blow your lid, look up Palm Beach Pete. Sup, Green Jeans? And then ask yourself, who is that really? Because I know who he looks like. And remember, kids, the next time that somebody tells you the government wouldn't do that. Oh, yes, they would. Wendigoon. I miss old Wendigoon before he got way too popular. Right. Like looks a lot. Like if you look at side by sides, I already said that, Infinite. Jeez, I was giving you credit. Sorry, Infinite said that. I apologize. Maybe I didn't say that. But yeah, like I said, I miss old Wendigoon before he bought into Mana, and I don't know, just the quality of his videos went down, in my opinion. Like they don't feel the same, and maybe that's just a me thing because he went too corporate. I don't know. Maybe I'm just, you know, a punk at heart. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I liked Wendigoon, and again, I hate to be a conspiracy theorist, but they tried to team him up with Mr. Gigi, and then it managed to work with him and Hunter, which makes no sense if you actually know anything about Wendigoon. I mean, come on, Wendigoon was a friggin', you know, before he changed his channel all up, he was a Christian gun tuber. So a multiverse theory that got super popular in 2020, where you are transferring your consciousness into another body, or if you believe in the law of assumption like that, everything you imagine is reality. So you are consciously making your own reality, and you technically could become someone else because in a different reality, that's you. Yeah, Greenie's in YouTube land. Yes, there was. And I can never remember the name of it, but it was actually pretty decent. I liked the movie. We generally call her anime over here. Green Jeans. Yeah, I think a Sesame Street block party would go kind of wicked. I already know that. Well, to you too, Ninetales. Oh yeah, there is a CIA document about remote viewing, and I'm pretty sure that the cat decided to get up on the laptop. Sorry, Kitty is being insistent about pets. But yeah, in case you don't know, I was gonna say, in case you don't know, Greenie, that's Infinite from Twitchland. Meow. No, no, my attentions. But you look at all of these things, and it's all just in this brief window of niceness. My wifey is so cuddly. Sorry, my wife is so cuddly. Yes. After saying hi. Yes, baby. Somehow she knew I didn't have the camera on tonight. So she's been sitting back behind me on the couch. Yeah. And then she does this cute little, I wish I could show you guys the cute little meerkatting she does. Because she'll sit up and like beg for pets. And we call it meerkatting because she looks like a meerkat. Okay. But yes, because she looks like a meerkat. I mean, a fluffy black and white meerkat. Yes, baby, don't you? Yeah. Who's a good kitty? I wish you would take to the camera more. I even tried to put like her cat tree at the end of my desk and actually clear a spot where she could just sit on my desk and like be comfortable. But nope. She doesn't like that. Yes. Yeah, she's really wanting attention tonight. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, just remember everything's an advertisement. Is basically the main point of what I was trying to get to is that literally everything is an advertisement. I mean, remember, you know, when you buy your phone, it has the logo of the company on it. Why? Like, you're going to forget that what you have? Well, no, so other people see you have that phone. Most clothing. My hand was on the other side. Why you got to make me move all the time? Why you got to make me move? Remember that, companies advertise to you even after you bought the product. Why does Nike put the swoosh on their shoes? Wait, her gallery had an ad? Wait, the cell phone doesn't have a logo anywhere on it? How the fuck does your cell phone's gallery, I'm assuming you mean cell phone, have an ad? Oh, it was on a tab, but still. Samsung? Huh. I thought they normally had their name on it. Call it my cousins pretend to be Big Bird and offer to buy ice cream if they let her. Oh, that's right. I remember you saying that story. I think it was on a ghost stream. About your uncle, calling up your cousins to pretend to be Big Bird and offering to buy ice cream if they left their purse on the porch. Naturally, she'd get pissed and cuss him out because he did like 3 times successfully. It sounds terribly hilarious. It's like it's funny because I also at least I'm pretty sure he's dead by now. Because he was 60 something when I was a child. If that guy's still alive, it'd be surprising. But I had a great uncle. Eating more of your Culvers. Good. If Gigi's here, she's just lurking. But anyway, hello to everybody from Green Jeans. And just remember, almost everything is an advertisement. Ooh, oh, nice. Even look at my background. Here, I'm advertising the Neon Bard, the Neon Room, and Neon Boss. Even though, Neon Room, I can't remember the last time Hi. What is going on? Are you okay? You just want the pets? Okay. Sorry, she keeps tapping me. Right. See, that is kind of the point. That is kind of, even though I didn't know it at the time, that just shows you how ubiquitous They Live was. I hadn't watched They Live when I created the background. But even I, can't help but advertise my other stuff. Even though it's not like straight up advertising, I'm not giving you the right. The scene is well known. And the fact that, they tried to tell you it was going to be a box office bomb when it, wasn't. But again, advertising what was, oh, well, shoot, Copy, go to bed. Thank you for stopping in. It was nice talking with you. Well, exactly. Her time sense is terrible. Yes, your time sense is terrible as I see you just sit there staring up at me. I can't resist. I have to pet the kitties. Like, I still have 15 minutes. But, well, tell wifey hi. Cinnamon Bun. Yes, Cinnamon Bun. Tell Cinnamon Bun hi. But in They Live, the advertising, how he puts on the glasses and it says obey, procreate or whatever. I don't remember exactly all of it. What do you think advertising's really doing? Like, most people don't understand that even the colors of advertisements matter. The colors you use convey certain information subconsciously. There was this famous ad where the ice cubes, right? Where the ice cubes literally spelled out SEX. Oh, color theory is real. So is shape theory. Shapes tell you things. The kind of arch you use. You know, people don't realize that everything is designed with a purpose. Triangles and stars, are they your lucky charms? Clovers and blue moons, they're always after me, lucky charms. Well, it is subliminal. That's what I'm saying, Infinite, is that they choose these things because it works on a subconscious level, which is subliminal. That's the part that, right. I'm not talking about that kind of subliminal. I'm talking about hidden pictures in art. Well, yeah, because they seek out the videos, Andy, which, you know, that's fine. But in advertising since the get-go, at least since the 70s, they have been advertising so many different ways to you in one ad. They're hitting you on a visceral level. They're hitting you on all these different levels. And you don't even know why you do it, why it works, why, you know, it just baffles you. You know, that's what I'm saying is they literally have to. See, that's my problem. They have to use tricks to get you to buy the product. So my guess is your product isn't very good. Maybe if you actually, I don't know, made a product that people were willing to buy, you wouldn't have to resort to dirty tricks. That's the part that really hampers me. Is just how we advertise, and it's designed to get you, because what, if you didn't use tricks, people wouldn't buy things? Really? Where they're changing the sound hertz for things to change how you feel about them? Yeah, sound waves. Yes. Right. Right. A bot for a second. Yeah, for a second, but it was just how it was typed out. Twitch thought it was a link. Right. I mean, they do market testing. There's market testing. There's oh, what's the other thing they call it? Yeah, it can be. I know that feeling, Jade. I do it all the time. Product placement, market testing, focus group testing, focus groups. That's the one I'm thinking of. And one is that it so annoys me, because if you have to trick somebody into buying your product, maybe you should make a better product. You know, if you have to use specific sound hertz, you know, I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why they're pushing so many people to wear headphones and making the speakers on phones crap. So you use the headphones so they can do better translation of the Well, there is a lot of science behind that. Exactly. You know, I think they push people to use headphones because it's so much easier to get the fidelity they need to generate the effects they need. And I mean, if you believe in the synchronization of brainwaves and stuff like that, allowing you to manifest things, fine, you know, but I also know that you can also do a lot of tricks. Cartoons put a lot of alt girls in secret dirty jokes and wonder why, you know, we are now thirsty. Yeah. But green jeans, people have been doing that for a long time because that's what people want. Huh. 2000s YouTube thumbnail clickbait. Well, yeah, I mean, clickbait by its very nature is an advertisement. I mean, the whole point is to get you to click. It's why I don't really manufacture thumbnails that are anything more than this is what I'm doing. Sure, it means I'm not going to grow. But I don't ever want to trick my audience into watching something that they don't want to watch. Right. Yeah, people put boobs in there. I mean, they still do that. What do you mean had to? They still do that. The problem is that, you know, a lot of those thirst trap tubers, Pokimane, Valkyrae, I can't remember all the names, are dying right now because most people get their trick. Right? Right, hot tub streamers or clothing optional, but you don't actually see anything, but the implication is there. You know, I mean, come on. You know, the problem is that these people are using tricks. And these tricks, once you get to a certain point, you realize that there was no substance there. You know, I mean, look at how fast streamers grow up and burn out. No, I don't remember who Hot Tub Molly was. I've only been using Twitch for a very short time, relatively. In fact, Ghost was the first Twitch streamer I ever watched. A joke name on Raven's stream? Oh, I probably should remember it. Oh, okay. Thought it was okay. Never mind. I don't know. It's one of those things that it's why I like certain YouTubers. Their name was Hot Tub Molly. Yeah, well, that I would assume that was a bot too. Because, you know, like Raven, he doesn't clickbait his thumbnails. It is what it says it is. And then he uses some kind of creepy picture. It works beautifully. But I can also tell you the thumbnails aren't very effective on me. Like, thumbnails absolutely are not effective on me. Because I don't give a crap what the thumbnail says. Or what it's even doing, not really. I read the title and who's it from. Like, if they're not conveying the information in their title, I don't click. I don't understand why people, I mean, I would be just as good with a list of titles to videos. Don't show me the, you know, the thumbnails. I would prefer to go in blind. I mean, to be perfectly honest, you probably might find out that some of the YouTubers you watch, you don't watch for the reasons you think. Right. Like, I hate the stupid, like, oh, you know, what was it? You know, number 10 will blow your mind on a top 10 list. And it's like, this is insane. Or, you know, and I love the fact that people like More Pegasus, like goof on that. Like really, you know, they're not taking it serious anyway. This is insane at 3 a.m. Oh my God. I mean, these are people you can't take seriously. You shouldn't be taking seriously. It's probably the reason why I never clicked on it ever in my life, clicked on a theory, whether it was game theory, movie theory, whatnot. I never clicked on a game theory, any of him, Matt Pat's videos. I found 90% of his to feel like clickbait. I'm not saying they were, but that's just what the thumbnail conveyed to me. You know, I don't know how else to describe it. I'm not saying that's really what he was doing, but it's just like looking at the thumbnails and the dichotomy with the title. It's like, why? My big thing is that he ruined FNAF. Like legitimately, Matt Pat ruined FNAF. Because Matt Pat got it right. But Scott Cawthon couldn't allow people to think that Matt Pat got it right. So he changed the story and it's obvious. No, I'm talking way back in the day, 2K. Andy. I'm talking back when Matt Pat did the theory on FNAF in the very beginning. And one, I think theorists and speedrunners ruined gaming. You know, I think people like Matt Pat and how big. I honestly think it ruined video games. Because now people have to have these super deep lore when sometimes I just want to turn my brain off and play a video game. I don't have to know all this lore. I don't have to or they make it super vague so that theorists can play around all day long. So it gets their video game more clicks. You know, or their videos more clicks. Like literally they feed off of each other. And speedrunners just ruin the games because they find glitches. You know, it's not truly about their skill with the game itself. Right. Or the final puzzle in Requiem, where you have to stand and let like 20 minutes go by so that there's enough zombies. Ah, okay. And, you know, you have to let 20 minutes go by in one spot. Then you have to go flush the toilet like 8 times. Then you have to go do this. Then you have to complete the game. And then you have to start a new game so that a certain doll pops up or something like that. What's called the final puzzle. It's like, why? Why do programmers do that? Because they need something to slow down speedrunners. I mean, speedrunners are exactly why Garten of Banban is such a shit game. They literally destroyed their own game just because people were going so far. Evolving a Malamar is so insane. Oh. You're playing Pokemon. Sorry, my brain did not understand right off the bat. Because I thought a Malamar was a kind of candy, and I'm like, how are you evolving a Malamar? Or something like that. I don't know, guys. You know, I mean, well, again, you know, I mean, that's We can't just enjoy something. Like, people always have to be better at something than somebody else. You know, and that's what the point I was trying to make with MatPat, between MatPat and Scott Cawthon. It wants your soup.
It wants your soup.
When MatPat got the theory right, Scott Cawthon had to change the story. Yeah, I know, it's time. I'm kind of winding down, so give me a sec. You know, we don't enjoy things in the moment. Retrospective should be more important. You know, seeing it behind, you know, after the fact. And that's why MatPat ruined FNAF, because he didn't wait for the full lore of Scott Cawthon before he spoke on it. And that really kills things. I mean, look at how much theory crafting happens with movies. And so, you know, Avengers has to go through so many different reshoots because now people have guessed the story, and it's just going to fall flat when they go see it in the movie theater. Because, oh, yep, it was just like, you know, that guy said. Well, when you have a billion theories out there, of course, one of them is going to be right. You know, we're ruining our own media by not letting the artists tell their story. Right, creepypasta in a Netflix series. Actually, there was some good ones, I thought. Yeah, trailers getting the break, the like a 5-minute trailer getting a 20-minute breakdown. Seriously? Well, yeah. You know, that's what bothers me. Is it, and it's all to circle it back to advertising, it's all advertising to go watch the movie, because now you got to see if the theorist was right. Like, they literally self-feed. Everything's an advertisement, whether people intend it to be or not. And it is so flippin' annoying. I just can't stand it anymore. It's why I don't. Okay, when I foresee the whole movie, like legitimately, I foresaw the movie because, I mean, come on. We watched all the other 5. I knew what they hadn't done yet. So, I mean, the only thing they could do in this story was the things I was saying. It's not even that it was that hard to figure out. And I will say, it was still fun to watch. You know, and that's... It's one thing when you're sitting there privately with your friends, watching a movie, and you riff on the story a bit, or you predict what's going to happen. It's another thing when you're a YouTuber and broadcasting that to the whole world, and you're ruining movies for people before they even went into the theater because you're smart enough and, you know, you figured out just by breaking down the trailer what's going to happen. So, no, is it any wonder why we have such high expectations when we go into a movie? In some ways, but in other ways, you know, some movies just get a pass because, oh, I grew up on this, so I have to, you know, I have to like it. I can't really pick it apart because I have to like it. But anyway, folks, I hope we had fun. Tomorrow night, I'll be playing Maze. It's a game that Rando suggested to me. Don't worry, we will be going back to Deep Sleep on Monday, and if I still haven't completed it, Tuesday. But after Deep Sleep, I'll be doing Duck Detective Monday, Tuesdays, and then, like, I guess the random shorter game on Thursdays, and then Drawing Friday, like usual. Love you guys. Have fun. Hope to see you tomorrow. And don't forget, Ghost streams at 9 in the morning, Central Time. Bye-bye.